Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Abdulaziz Adedichi, the country head of internal audit, compliance, and investigation, United Press Service Limited. Okay, so today I'll be speaking about integrating cloud security practices with business continuity practices. Okay, so I'll be looking at how you can integrate cloud security practice with your business continuity plan and business continuity management. So basically, cybersecurity considerations for business continuity. Now, with every passing year, cybersecurity becomes more of a concern for business continuity planning initiatives. So participants in 2016 Business Continuity Institute Horizon have ranked cybersecurity as their #1 threat, with data breach as coming close as a second risk that they have. So over the last few years, there are two categories. These two categories of risk have actually climbed and ranked as one of the top most significant risks that organizations face all across the globe. And you agree with me that there's no doubt that businesses of all kinds must include cybersecurity concerns in their business continuity plans, right along with a lot of some more traditional threats, some other threats like maybe severe weather or supply chain disruptions and all that. However, cybersecurity actually requires a special degree of attention because of the nature of cybersecurity attacks, or the nature of cyber attacks and data breaches. So a survey was conducted in 2017 with a panel of about 700 organizations spanning across 69 countries. 13% of these organizations actually lost at least 250,000 euros cumulative in the last 12 months. 60% of them actually, 60% of these companies report top executives' commitment to cyber resilience. So 60% of these companies actually documented or had top executives' commitments to ensuring that the organization is cyber resilient. 87% of these organizations actually, tested and exercised business continuity plans in relation to cyber disruptions, and 16% of them actually took over four hours to actually recover from a cyber disruption after the recovery actually took place. So you can see the impact of cyber disruptions in over 700 organizations across 69 countries. So that's to tell you that cybersecurity must be incorporated into your business continuity plan. That's to tell you the impact of cyber disruptions when you don't have a business continuity plan in place, or you don't incorporate cybersecurity practices into business continuity planning. So as you work to incorporate cybersecurity concerns into your business continuity plan, you need to consider a number of important issues, a number of important points. So there are things you need to bear in mind when you are incorporating your cybersecurity practices in preparation of your business continuity planning. So #1 is that you need to ensure that you need to understand that cybersecurity and business continuity are actually codependent. So you cannot completely extricate cybersecurity from business continuity. As a matter of fact, in today's hyper-connected world, cybersecurity concerns and business continuity are actually inseparable. You can see every year cyber attacks and data breaches can significantly disrupt an organization. As a matter of fact, cybersecurity concerns and data breaches can actually affect the going concern of an organization, can actually put a business out of the market. So you see that. So understand that cybersecurity and business continuity are actually like two sides of the same coin. So you need to consider, though they are two separate entities, but they need to work. They need to be synergized in order to minimize costs, in order to protect data, and in order to streamline a timely and effective response to attacks or data breaches. So in case, when you have incidences, when you have attacks, when you have data breaches, when you have completely integrated cybersecurity with your business continuity plans, you have a more resilient management system. So #1 is to understand that cybersecurity and business continuity are actually codependent. Second thing is to integrate cybersecurity management and to integrate cybersecurity management and risk management variables into the planning process. So what this means is that when you are engaging in your business continuity planning, when you are developing your business continuity plan, when you are managing your business continuity, you must factor in and you must integrate key cyber risk management variables. So how do you do that? Number one, you need to carry out a business impact analysis, a BIA. And you see, a BIA is actually integral to the cybersecurity risk management process. Known cybersecurity threats and associated risks must be factored into the analysis ratings for typical components, such as maximum outages and impact levels for identified critical business processes and assets. So what that means is that you need to carry out a business impact analysis. You need to factor in what are the core key cyber threats that your organization faces or is facing. What are the data breaches? What are the likely risks, associated risks, cybersecurity risks that your organization might likely face or be exposed to? Now, those risks must be factored into your risk rating, in determining whether your risk is actually high, whether it's medium, whether it's low. So you need to factor, those risks in your business continuity plan. Also, cybersecurity threats and risks should also should be factored into when you are talking about the impact category. So you identified some risks, cybersecurity risks, or you have identified some data breaches that your organization might be exposed to. You need to also now, weigh the impact to say, okay, what if this risk crystallizes? How do I manage it? What if this risk crystallizes? What will be the impact of this risk? What will be the impact of this risk, or the probability of loss when this risk actually crystallizes? So you need to understand that and integrate key cyber risk management variables into the business planning process. Third thing you need to do is to ensure that cybersecurity is represented on the business continuity planning and disaster recovery team. So basically, business continuity planning actually starts from the strategy formulation phase. It starts from the top. So you need to ensure that when you are doing your business continuity management, business continuity management is typically handled by organizational, governance, maybe the risk and compliance department. However, they may not have the proper input and the proper representation from the IT security team or CISO. So usually business continuity plans are developed by maybe the risk personnel or the compliance, team. However, they may not be fully equipped to understand what should be imputed into the business continuity plan in terms of the IT security team. So you need to ensure that a member of the IT security team or the head of IT security in the organization or the CISO is present in the development of your business continuity plan, right? So that, cybersecurity considerations for the business continuity will be incorporated in your business continuity plan. Secondly, is that, you see, as the security team understands the current state of the organization, cybersecurity protections and associated risks, you need to get representatives from this team so that they'll be part of the development of the policies of the business continuity plans and all that. And so they'll also be able to advise on the best disaster recovery strategy. So when this risk crystallizes, what kind of strategy do we adopt in ensuring that the business recovers faster? So you need to include your cybersecurity professionals in your business continuity planning. The fourth thing you need to do in this synergy is to define a backup plan that minimizes downtime. You need to define a backup plan or a redundancy plan that minimizes downtime. So what does that mean? What that means is that whether you are, it's going to be fully in the cloud. Your backup plan will be fully in the cloud, or it will be hybrid, or whatever method you choose to adopt. There must be a clear and a detailed backup plan. If you are going to have a successful, security-minded business continuity plan for your organization, you understand? So you need to have, a documented backup plan. Now, example, if the risk of encryption encryption from ransomware, may drive decisions for your organization to have some cloud-hosted redundancy for certain, critical data systems that is quickly accessible. Now, you need to ensure that is factored in the documentation of your backup plan or the documentation of your redundancy plan. So you need to set up a redundancy plan that minimizes downtime, not a backup plan that will take forever to implement, not a backup plan that will take long before is being implemented, because when your organization faces a particular risk or faces a particular incident or faces a particular attack, you need to recover the business as soon as possible. So you need to define a backup plan or redundancy plan that minimizes downtime. And so, having said that, what is a business continuity plan? First of all, what do we understand by business continuity? Now, business continuity may be defined as the capability of an organization to actually continue the delivery of its products and services at a predefined acceptable levels following a disruptive incident. So what does that mean? It means that a business, when we talk about business continuity, we're talking about the probability, we're talking about the capability or the ability of the organization to still continue rendering its services or delivering its products and services at a predefined acceptable level, despite the fact that the organization has just been hit with a disruptive incident. So look at, last year, COVID came up. It was an incident. It was a disruptive incident for a lot of companies. It was a disruptive incident for a lot of organizations. So business continuity is the ability of the organization to respond to those disruptive incidents within a very short period of time and still deliver, its products and services at an acceptable levels. So then, what then is business continuity planning? Now, a business continuity planning is actually, talking about is the process of creating systems of preventing and recovering when there is a potential threat to an organization. So business continuity planning is talking about, okay, what strategies do we put in place? What processes do we need to put in place to ensure that if our company gets hit by a potential threat, is able to recover as soon as possible? That's what we mean by business continuity planning. Now, business continuity, how do you create a business continuity plan? Because it's very key for you to create a business continuity plan. Now, there are 5 key steps in creating a business continuity plan. So how do you create a business continuity plan? Number 1 step is that you need to carry out what they call a risk assessment and business impact analysis. You carry out a risk assessment. And when we mean risk assessment, what risk assessment means is that you need to first of all identify your risks. And then in the concept of preparing and providing a business, a cyber security or security tight business continuity plan, you need to identify your cyber security risks. What risks am I exposed to as an organization? What cyber risks is my organization exposed to? What data breaches? What cyber attacks will my organization be exposed to? So those risks must be identified. And once those risks has been identified, they must be rated in terms of the risk rating. So is it high? Is it a medium risk? Is it a low risk? When you have been able to rate those risks in your risk assessment, plan, you need to be able to now say, okay, what controls do I need to put in place to mitigate these risks? And once that is done, then you put action plans or the targets and the responsible party. So basically, that's what a risk assessment is. So you document, you identify the risk, you analyze the risk, you prioritize the risk, and then you put controls in place to mitigate the risk. So you carry out a risk assessment and a business impact analysis. I've explained business impact analysis previously. That's the first step in developing a business continuity plan. Second step you need to take in developing a business continuity plan is to develop recovery strategies. So you have identified some risks that are associated with your business. You have identified some cyber security risks. You have identified some cyber threats. You have identified some data breach threats that your organization might be exposed to. The next step you need to take is to develop strategies for recovery. So the question then is, if these risks crystallize, if this data breach occurs, how will the organization recover from this? So you need to document recovery strategies. Number 3 is then to implement your solution. To implement your solution. So if solution implementation means that now the strategies that you have adopted to minimize those risks, you need to implement them. So if this risk crystallizes, what IT solutions am I open to? What cyber security solutions do I have as alternatives? And then when you have that, you implement it. Then the 4th step you need to take is to now testing and acceptance. And what that means is that you need to test your cyber security solutions. You need to test your solutions, the solution that you have chosen to implement in the event of data breaches, in the event that the incident occurs. Now you need to test them. And when you need testing, you need to first of all test the design of those solutions. Now, is it properly designed? Can it function effectively with my organization? I need to also test the operational efficiency of those solutions. So it's not just enough for you to have, there are a lot of cybersecurity solutions. There are a lot of solutions that are available to you, but you need to test them to be sure that, yes, they meet your own cybersecurity needs. And when that is done, you need to ensure that it is widely accepted, because the people, the cybersecurity department, the people, other departments that are actually involved, they need to accept and implement those solutions. And the final thing you need to do, final step you need to take in business continuity plan is routine maintenance. So it's not enough for you to just develop recovery strategies. It's not enough for you to just implement solutions. It's not enough for you to test and accept it and ensure that it's been accepted. You need to carry out some routine checks, some routine maintenance of those solutions. So those are the 5 key steps you take in developing a business continuity plan. Now, what is business continuity management? How do you carry out business continuity management? There are 4 steps you need to take in carrying out a business continuity management. Number 1 is that you need to know your business. If you have a knowledge deficiency of your business, of the industry in which you operate, of your business processes, you will find it difficult to carry out business continuity management, because if you don't even know the business, what do you want to continue? If you don't understand your business, what do you want to really manage in terms of its continuity? So you need to know your business. You need to know the industry in which you operate. You need to know the peculiarities of your organization. You need to know what your organizational needs are, right? You need to know what the cybersecurity needs of your organization are. Secondly is that you need to assess your risk. I mentioned that earlier. You need to assess those risks. What kind of risks are they? Are they high? Are they medium? Are they low? Then what is your risk appetite as an organization? So what constitutes materiality to you? How much can you lose to cybersecurity attacks? How much are you willing to lose to cybersecurity threats if they crystallize? So you need to assess those risks, and then you need to formulate a plan. What it means by formulating a plan is to say, okay, should in case these events, these risks that I've identified crystallizes, should in case this risk, this cybersecurity threats, or we have a data breach, or we have a cybersecurity attack, what plan do we put in place to ensure that we mitigate this risk, or we are to prevent it, or in case, when it crystallizes, what plan do we have for data recovery, for recovery, business recovery? And then the last thing is to test your plan. So it's similar to what you call, what the steps I identified for the business continuity plan, the development of business continuity plan. So now, a very key concept is incident response planning. So when you have an incident, when an incident eventually occurs, when a risk eventually crystallizes, what do you need to do? What are the actions that you need to take? That's what incident response planning is. So the first step you need to take is that when there's a security incident, what do you do? First is to say, okay, what action do I need to take? What action do you need to take? Now, the third question you need to ask yourself is, okay, does the incident that has crystallized, does it require a response or not? Not every incident requires a response. Some you might just avoid it. Some you might just, overlook it. Some you might just ignore. But if it requires an incident, a response, then you need to launch the incident response plan. So like I said earlier, you've developed a business continuity plan or an incident response plan. So when that incident has now crystallized, when that event has occurred, when that risk has crystallized, you need to now, launch your incident response plan, and then you need to perform the actions that you have detailed in the response plan to say, oh, when this happens, this is the solutions, IT solution we're going to deploy. Okay, if there's a fire, this is what will be deployed and all that. If there's a cybersecurity threat, this is a particular solution cybersecurity solution we're going to adopt. And then so once you do all this, you follow all these processes and all these steps, your disaster, you will find the organization recovering from the disaster that it has been hitting, and then you will also find that you will have business continuity. Your business will continue into the foreseeable future. Now, so how do we create a cybersecurity crisis communication plan? You see, basically, planning for cybersecurity crisis communication is actually different from other kind of communications that are required when there's a business disruption. For instance, if there's a power outage in your organization now, how you communicate that, the communication plan is actually totally different from how you communicate a cybersecurity attack or a cyber attack. It's different from how you communicate a data breach. It's different from how you, because when you have a power out, when you have power outage, I mean, it can easily be managed, it can easily be communicated. It doesn't really have so much reputational damage. But you see, when your organization is hit by a massive cyber attack, when your organization is hit by a massive cyber breach or data breach, it has a far-reaching effect on your organization. It creates a lot of reputational risk and reputational damage. So it's required that when this happens, you need to, before this happens, you create a cyber security communication plan. You need to have a documented plan to say, should the case or in the event that this particular cyber security attack occurs, or in the event that there's a data breach, in the event that there is a cyber security crisis, how do we communicate to our relevant stakeholders so that we manage the information, right? So a solid crisis communication strategy will help you to ensure that the right amount of information is shared at the right time with the right people. And here are a few things that you need to consider when you are developing, your business continuity planning, and you are trying to factor in disaster recovery strategies. So number one is to ensure that you involve everyone in the crisis management planning. So it is not when the crisis has actually occurred or crystallized that you start scampering for people who will communicate the information to the relevant stakeholders. No, right from ab initio, when you are developing the crisis management plan, when you are engaging in the crisis management plan, you need to ensure that everyone is involved. You need to, you need to ensure that your crisis communication plan includes people from all departments. IT security units, the IT department, the legal department, the customer support department, and even the corporate communications plan. The corporate communications department for a start. So all these people must be involved in the planning so that whenever there's a crisis, whenever there is a cyber security crisis or there's an incident, they have a documented communication plan because they were already co-opted in the development of that plan ab initio in the beginning. So the second thing you need to ensure is that you need to educate non-IT employees on IT security basis. Educate non-IT employees on IT security basis. So what that means is that when there's an incident, it doesn't just affect just the IT security department or just the IT security team. When there is a data breach, when there is a cyber attack, it affects the entire organization. So every department needs to understand at least the basics of IT security. They need to understand basic IT security so that when there's a crisis, they're able to communicate intelligibly, they're able to communicate intelligently. So you need to build a cyber-aware culture at work, and it has a lot of benefits beyond just incident response, right? So as a minimum, all those who will be involved in responding to a cybersecurity incident, they need a basic understanding of IT security. So each department that's going to be involved whenever there's a crisis, in responding to questions, in responding to stakeholders, they need to have some basic information of IT security. Otherwise, there's going to be a lot of mess, there's going to be a lot of escalations, there's going to be a lot of, you would have to do a lot of damage control to correct the wrong impressions or to correct wrong information that has been given by other departments because of knowledge gap. So another thing you need to do is to ensure that you prepare an alternative internal communication. Prepare an alternative internal communication. So what that means is that sometimes when there's a cybersecurity attack, sometimes when there's a data breach, and a lot of your cybersecurity architectures have been compromised, right? A lot of your systems have been compromised. So maybe hackers have compromised your emails. They've compromised your IP telephony. They've compromised your direct messages or your phone or video calls. So you need to ensure that you use secure channels to keep employees updated and plan your response. So you need to have an alternative communication channel in the event that those your normal communication channels have been compromised by hackers, right? So in such a situation, employees that are involved, you need to use an encrypted channel. You need to use encrypted channels. You need to prepare a non-technical staff in advance by explaining the need for encrypted messaging and how to install it and how to use it. So before the incident eventually crystallizes, before the cybersecurity attack happens, before the data breach happens, you need to teach non-IT staff, non-technical staff in advance. You need to explain to them the reason why they need to use encrypted messaging, how to install the software, how to install they require them, software, and how to use them. It is not when the risks have actually crystallized, not when there's a cybersecurity attack or when there's a data breach or when there's a crisis, that you now begin to teach them and train them on how to use encryption or encrypted messages. By that time, it will be too late. So you need to prepare alternative internal communication plan, right? Then also, when you are going to disclose, make sure that you are specific. When you are communicating the incident, you are communicating the risk, you are communicating communicating what the incident that has occurred and what you are doing. You need to be specific, because when you don't give adequate details, when you don't give adequate information, there is bound to be speculation. So if your organization has been hit by a data breach or by a cyber security crisis, you need to properly communicate to the relevant stakeholders. And you need to provide adequate information. You need to give enough details so that people don't begin to speculate. People don't begin to exaggerate the incidents beyond what it currently is, right? So you need to tell them what exactly happened. You need to tell them how it affects the very relevant stakeholders, the customers, the partners. And you need to, most importantly, tell them what you are doing about it. You need to tell them, okay, what's your response plan? What is your strategy for recovery? These are the things that people want to hear. These are the things, the ways you communicate when there's a cybersecurity crisis, right? So every task is actually urgent when responding to a security incident, but only IT security can give corporate communications the details that will let them write an accurate and informative statement. So usually in organizations, the person in corporate comms, the corporate comms head, is the one that writes or speaks to people, outsiders, corporate communications. However, they themselves may not be IT security experts. So IT security department needs to work cooperatively with the corporate communications department, so that they can provide them with all the relevant information in order for them to then disseminate to other relevant stakeholders. So basically, in conclusion, there is much to consider when talking about cybersecurity impacts on business continuity planning and disaster recovery strategies. Proactively incorporating these key points that I've mentioned will go a long way to minimize damage. It will go a long way in speeding your recovery whenever there's a disaster. Lastly, if you haven't developed a solid business continuity plan, I'll urge you not to wait any longer. You need to build it with cybersecurity threats and cybersecurity risks in mind. So when you are building your business continuity plan, you need to factor in cybersecurity threats. I need to factor in cyber risks. Now, if you have a business continuity plan already, ensure that you take time to review it. Ensure that you take time and make the necessary edits to ensure that those cybersecurity threats and the risks that you have identified are addressed, right? And with incident response, cost and ransomware payments that can reach well over $500,000 or even more, you can't afford to ignore cybersecurity in your business continuity plan. So, conclusively, I urge you, in your companies, in your organizations, regardless of whichever capacity you are, ensure that when you are developing, if you don't have a business continuity plan, you develop one as soon as possible. And then if you have one already, ensure that when you are developing it, or you incorporate and inculcate cybersecurity threats and cybersecurity risks and controls in your business continuity plan. Thank you very much.